The following conversation is with Vaclav Sulista. He is a career coach and a honorary consul of Czechia in Switzerland. Vaclav, it's really great to have you here with me today. Thank you for your time, and I'm just so curious about everything what you want to share with us today. But mostly, let us start it with your career transition, because you had been extremely successful in your career in the corporate world, and at some point, things have changed and you started your own business. Could you please guide us through your transition?
Maybe I would correct a little bit the term extremely successful. Let's call it successful. So extremely successful, I don't know. Middle management at Novartis was okay. Yeah, the transition. Yes, it was a good career. I led big teams, a lot of responsibility, financial-wise and so on, but I was somehow never happy because what I enjoyed mostly was the human aspects of the job. So working with people, this was it. This is what I liked the most. So, and not exactly the stubborn company and the reviews and setting goals and this kind of stuff, but more the coaching and mentoring side of the business. So I thought, okay, after like seventh wave of reorganization in the last 16 years, I decided it's enough and step out and start the own business. And sometimes it's really funny. You start doing something with a complete wrong business case or business plan. But if you wouldn't start doing this with this wrong business plan, you will never be successful. So I started, my first idea was, okay, I love to do job interview preparation. So I'm going to prepare people for job interviews. But I very, very quickly realized that the market is simply too small for this. And by coincidence, I met someone who introduced me to someone, you know how it goes, and he opened my eyes for the importance of LinkedIn. Yes, and not every person needs to be prepared for a job interview. Most of the people like to have a great LinkedIn profile. So I started to optimize LinkedIn profile of the people, and slowly, step by step, out of this business developed into the right direction that I can today live on it and even hire my daughter to help me out. So I started with basically a wrong plan, but if you never start, you don't go nowhere. So it's good to start doing something and then make corrections if necessary. And funny enough, it was all based on working for free for someone. So everything what had a great impact on my life was working for free, do something for free.
Talking about working for free, you observe it a lot, definitely also with your clients, right? That they do lots of voluntary work, lots of things that are related to other aspects of the life, but not necessarily your career. How do you actually combine that? How do you combine your voluntary involvement with your career or your career prospects in general?
I think it comes naturally together because at the end, the pivotal point is most of the time it's LinkedIn. You know, if somebody's searching for a job like a Ukrainian victim of the war, then what do they need? A decent LinkedIn profile. So we start with that. And out of this discussion, we mostly develop then the next steps. So it comes all very naturally together somehow. And I even don't think about it because I'm highly interested in human beings. I'm fascinated how different we are and how still same we are, that everybody needs to be respected and loved and feeling safe and so on. And we have clients from the whole world, and it's really fascinating to see these different mentalities, different cultures, and at the end, we all want the same. So this fascination drives me. Funny that I never sell anything to anyone until the people are asking me. That's funny as well. So this is my approach, selling through non-selling anything. So
how do you wait a second? Why do you know? Why do you know sell? Exactly. How do you do it? What's your approach here?
I'm interested in the people and asking them questions around themselves, around their achievements, around their careers. And probably I don't ask completely stupid questions that the people realize I'm sort of competent in this area of business. And at the end of the talk, a lot of people are simply asking me, Václav, and how much does your service cost? And I told you I'm not selling anything. But if you ask, that's your choice now. Here is the offer. But normally I don't do this. And if the person doesn't ask me, that's okay. And And this is this is like an operational niche. So detach from the outcome, be interested in other human beings, do something, give something away for free first. Don't expect anything back. Yeah, and it doesn't, you know, you don't close business immediately after that, for sure not. But it's a very, very soft way, and I feel very, very comfortable with that because I hate selling my services.
I totally understand that.
I love
Totally
to steal
understand.
stuff from other people. So if you would tell me, hey, let's sell Ivona's and her creativity stuff, I am full blown, full of energy. I love to see sell other stuff because I'm not emotionally attached to it. And the moment you emotionally detach from stuff, I did crazy stuff already. I helped my friend to sell drums in Switzerland, for example, handmade drums from Czechia. And completely crazy story. And we found immediately after 3 months, we found a lot of resellers in Switzerland who are reselling the drums now. So, and without anything, without advertisement, without buying a booth on Frankfurt Music Fair, just talking to people.
Very cool. That's a great human skill, right? Just talking and exchanging and being curious in general.
Not talking, but asking and listening, huh?
That's true, yes. Listening is probably the most important skill. When you think about all of the different clients that you had so far, and I know that in this business you are very successful, what are the common challenges that they are facing while searching for a job?
I think it's a very, very multi-layered question, and I cannot answer it very quickly. Let's focus on one specific group of the clients, which are highly qualified females with low self-esteem. This is the typical issue that ladies are underselling themselves. So they are selling themselves under their value. They are 90% fit to the job, and they are still worried about the 10% which they don't cover. And then the man comes in knowing 60% of the job, and he sells themselves like the king, and he gets the job. So first thing is to polish the self-esteem of the people, build them up. And sometimes you need really shake them, say, okay, you either learn this, or the jobs will go to the men who are maybe pretenders and selling themselves better than you. So I had several issues. I really need to shake the people. Okay, and there is to do it. And let's one rehearsal. And again, no, you cannot talk like that in a job interview. You look like not self-assured enough. Nobody's going to hire you after this. So that's one of the main problems what I see. Others are very, very rusty and ugly LinkedIn profile. You have no idea what the person is doing if you open their LinkedIn profile. That's another famous topic. Boring, very boring motivation letters. It's another. What else? Too long CVs. Nobody is going to read the CVs who is over 4 pages unless you are really a superstar and stuff like that. So just few things to mention, but there are many more.
Super boring motivational letters. That's something interesting. Do you feel that AI and ChatGPT influences that right now?
Yes, for sure. And again, there is a big but. So AI is a great servant, but a bad master. And as we know that all those tools are being on large language models, and if majority of the people does it wrong, then the outcome of the AI might not be perfect as well. So use it as an inspiration, but give it a human flavor all the time. So, and what I see as very important part is the opening sentence of the motivation letter. Because most of the people, I have seen your advertisement and here is I apply for this position. Hey, so when you are sending the letter, you are applying already. So why tell this? Try to do some emotional connection. It needs to make this from the first sentence, because put yourself in the shoes of the poor HR person who is reading this boring stuff every single day. For sure, you end up with the waste bin if you come with the same stuff again and again. Try to create an emotional connection for the job from your, for example, family experience, from your own experience, something like that.
And in general, when you see all of the different cases, what are the general advices, except for, of course, LinkedIn profile and motivation letter that needs to be, personalized? What would you say to anyone who is searching for a job? The main advice.
Be unique, stay yourself. Sometimes a little bit acting is good, but don't overdo it. but stay with your brand. Don't pretend that you are someone else because you end up in a job which you don't like. Yes, sometimes there are situations in life where we need to grab any job simply to pay our bills. Yes, but the second advice, don't compromise unless you are completely frustrated and you see no way out. So don't compromise with your job. Take your time, because job search is a full-time job. Rejection is part of the game. And I try to reverse engineer the entire process, and it's not all my ideas. I'm being inspired by great people like, for example, Josh Brown, who is the master of the soft selling through not selling anything. And I love his several statements. One of these is detach from the outcome, ditch the pitch, but poke the bear. That's another saying. And the sellers have questions and the buyers have answers. So, and reverse engineer means, okay, are you scared that you get next rejections when you are applying for a job? Make yourself a matrix on a piece of paper, 10 by 10 boxes. You have 100 of them. And every time you send the application, look forward that you cross the X for the no you are going to get, because the quicker you fill the matrix, the quicker you get to the yes. So as my wife used to say to our kids, make a sport out of it.
Interesting. So basically everything is exercising. Everything is just a process, progress.
It's all a numbers game, all numbers game. Amount of application you send out directly correlate with your success. The amount of people you are talking to will elevate your chances on the job market. It's all a numbers game. So you cannot expect that you have like a shiny LinkedIn profile and is sending it a corner, put the open to work banner and wait until somebody's discover you. Forget this.
It doesn't exist also because people are usually very busy and they just don't have time to search through LinkedIn profiles.
Yeah, and you have like 3 seconds to grab person's attention, and the attention spans are getting shorter and shorter and shorter. The more time we spend on social media and in front of our screens of our mobile phone, the shorter our attention span is going. So yeah, and I'm not the best example of mindfulness, I have to be honest.
I know that. How do you actually practice mindfulness?
I don't practice it at all. I simply my daily life is driven by my ADHD, and I use it as a source of energy, but definitely not mindfulness. I know it's not optimal, yeah, and I know there is not perfect multitasking, and this is a nonsense. And that's why I'm working with people, because if I see you in front of me, you are my universe and there is nothing else. And I don't think about the next email and WhatsApp message and what I should do next day. I see Ivona in front of me. Ivona is my universe, and this is deeply relaxing for me. That's why I work with people. The moment I close the call, it immediately starts email, WhatsApp, this and that, LinkedIn, and this goes like 5 different projects which I'm juggling around. So yeah, that's why I'm relaxing when I work with people.
Oh, that's fantastic. Basically, in this case, there is a focus that you need or that you have right now because you focus just on one thing. Personally, I don't believe in multitasking. Doesn't exist for me. But I understand the struggle, of course, of tackling and, juggling so many different tasks and so many different projects at the same time.
And when I enjoy the flow of energy, and when I get bored, I simply jump to the next project and I work on something else. It was like, I don't know, 10 years ago or maybe even more. I went to the psychiatrist and wanted to do an ADHD test. So I did it like 100% qualified, and you can have Ritalin if you like. So I say, let's try this. And I felt like a zombie. So I throw this tablet in, and then I went on my bike to work, and I was watching the street in front of me, like a tunnel view. And it wasn't me at all, because I'm normally like watching around. I read or signs are all lorries, and I know basically every single car who comes to my periphery. I already know, okay, this is this kind of person, this is this kind of business, because I read all of this. And then I was like watching the tiny crack in the road until I came to Basel, like say, okay, no, that's not me. So I stopped and somehow learned to deal with that, and no drugs. Enjoy your deficiency and make a superpower out of it.
I wouldn't call it deficiencies. ADHD can be definitely seen as a superpower, because people with these abilities have also an extremely high creativity and problem-solving skills. And, you know, especially right now with your job, helping individuals to find jobs and change in their careers, I feel like it's extremely important to have the skill of creativity and solving problems in general for your clients.
I enjoy the energy which comes out of it. That's what I enjoy. Probably I would have the ability to focus deeper on something. It's a double-edged sword, you know, you get a lot of energy out of something, but on the other hand, you can be a great procrastinator. I should re-record my videos since like a half year. I have professional setup, cameras, high resolution, lightnings, all of this. You think I do it? No, I still didn't redo it because perfectionism, okay, I make something wrong. I would like to redo it or cut it out. I don't like cuts, so I would like to have it like 30 minutes free talk. And what I do after that, nothing. I still work with my old videos.
Yeah, we all learn on the way, right? I would love to ask you about something else. I'm really curious about this because I know that is your huge passion. You're also a honorary consul of Czechia or Czech Republic here in Switzerland. And I would love to ask you about your passion related to that. I know that you're originally from this country.
Yeah, this came by coincidence. I didn't search for it. I was asked if I would do this this work for Slovakia. And when I went introduce myself at the Slovak embassy, they told me that the Czechs are searching as well. So it was for me easy. Then I say, okay, let's switch. Let's do it from the home country, even if I speak fluent Slovak and would love to do it for Slovaks as well. But Czechia is closer to my heart. And yeah, it's a big honor to be the representative of your country abroad. That's for sure. And I enjoy it. I enjoy the different, meeting different people. So you have a lot of people who immigrated to Switzerland in 1968, like generation of my parents. Overnight, you can help them with some stuff, with their pensions and stuff like that. That's great. And what I like a lot is to do the so-called economic diplomacy. So open doors for the companies from Czechia to grab a piece of the Swiss market. Because and I like as well to improve a little bit the image of Czechia, which we have. It's like beer, ice hockey, and putting the cars together for the German market. That's like what the people know about us. And people forget that Czechia is absolutely pinnacle at AI and machine learning, top chemistry, whatever. The best-selling drug against HIV was developed in Prague. Nobody knows it. And I don't understand why the government doesn't do something like a promotional about this. Yeah, they talk about soft eye lenses, like the most important patent from Czechia from the 60s. Hey, come on, this is 50 years ago. So let's forget soft lenses. Let's focus on the future. So yeah, and I have an opportunity to explain to the people why do we need a short name and why is Czech Republic okay in the diplomatic protocol, no issues about that, but that it's really weird that the Republic plays football, for example. Yeah. So I'm saying the Czechs are very specific on that, and they go with a tuxedo to a barbecue and to the forest, and then they don't have a tuxedo, a clothing for a festive moment, because they wear their festive clothing on every day, and it looks like you look like overdressed. That's on the one hand. And on the other hand, mostly republics calling themselves country who have violating the human rights, treating people badly, are not highly economically successful. Those are calling themselves is the formal name all the time. So Democratic Republic Congo as one example. So why would you like to be in this category of states? So yes, it's a change. Yes, people hate change. If you are used to say the Czech Republic, it took me 3 months biting in my tongue until I stopped call myself, I'm from the Czech Republic. What should I bring you from the Czech Republic? So yeah, you get used to it. If you say 100 times loudly in front of you, Czechia, 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 suddenly you realize, oh, it's not that bad. It's handy, and then you start using it. So, and this was my main reason why I took this work of the honorary consul, because I think, okay, I will get the official email address from the state, and then it's, if you write somewhere, you have like a higher authority to influence people to start using the short name. So that's it in a nutshell.
In a nutshell, I would be curious to learn a little bit more in detail. Why Czechia? Why you're so passionate about changing the name of the country in a way, or introducing the change?
So first Czechia with a K, that's like Czech, like Czechia. I heard like CH. Then why? Because the main, I hated the Swiss German term Czechia like crazy in 1993. So in Czechia, we have a saying that the raised Turk is a worse than a born Turk. So if you are born Turkish, you know, from the old days, so those people who converted to Islam has been much stronger Islam followers than people who've been raised in this culture. And I'm someone like that. So I hated the short name. Then I, after years, started to realize, oh, I'm using it myself. So I know it's only a matter of getting used to it. And so this is my own example because I hated it. I got used to it. And then I realized, okay, there is something like a short name. It's simply natural to call countries by the short name. And there are two main reasons. One is an economic reason. So if you imagine we spent 30 years, 70 million of US dollars on advertisement of the Czech Republic. And the result was that still Czechoslovakia is better known abroad than the Czech Republic after 30 years and this amount of money spent on advertising in English-speaking countries. And this is a strong economic impact because people don't recognize us. They don't know what we are, what kind of republic. Something weird emerged now in the East. And second thing, it's the history. You cannot use this name in historical connotations or in historical circumstances. So if you talk something before 1993, there was no Czech Republic. So you cannot use the name. But the Czechs don't get it. They can easily say Cyril and Method came to the Czech Republic in the 9th century. What kind of nonsense is that? You know, and I all the time cite your home country, Poland, as an excellent example. If you talk, for example, about where was Frédéric Chopin born, most of the people say Poland. I say, It was Warsaw Principality or Duchess of Warsaw. I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong. And it belonged to Prussia. So Poland doesn't exist. And you still call the country and the region Poland, even if the country was shifted 200 kilometers westwards and changed massively. The same Egypt, you know, Egypt is not Arabic Republic of Egypt. You simply call it Egypt because it's Egypt in the entire historical continuity. And you need a name which is describing the country. Yeah, so. The best advertisement I've seen was Pleistocene rhinoceros from the Czech Republic. That's really excellent. If you have Pleistocene in the Czech Republic, that's, yeah. So that's the reason we need a brand. So the world recognizes us. And second, you need a name which you can use in historical terms. Have a look on Germany. There was no Germany before 1871, you know, before the unification. If you talk about 19th, 18th, 17th century in Germany, you probably use the term Germany. And you wouldn't call it by the kingdoms and whatever was there. The same Italy, there was no Italy before the unification of Italy. You still call the country in historical terms Italy. So those are the most important arguments.
And when you think about your work right now and supporting people in their career, how does branding influence people's career in general? How do you see it from the LinkedIn perspective?
Very, very strongly, because you should be unique. And you are unique. Ivona Fluda is unique with their creativity. You know, you immediately, the moment you come, your name pops up in my mind. I know what you do. And we are like mini brands, like something like tiny Coca-Colas. And we have to nurture our brand so we are recognizable on the job market. Are you a great person with data analysis? I would like to read it already in your headline and not your current position. You know, stuff like that are tiny things. And it's not, you know, it's not that great LinkedIn profile solve everything. Definitely not. But in the job market of today, social media has a huge influence on your success, and we need to maintain it, and we need to look like really prof on the first glance. And this helps. It increases the chances of being invited for a job interview. It increases chances of being hired. It increases the chances for networking, because if you look like a decent pro, people tend more to network with you than if you have like a rusty LinkedIn profile with a picture selfie that is 25 years old and from a party or whatever. So something like that. So those are the reasons.
Very cool. And the last question I would love to ask you, and I'm very curious to learn about It's from you. What's your vision for the future?
Vision of what? My own vision, the vision
It can
for...
be your own vision, it can be the vision of your business, the vision of the world. How do you envision the future?
So let's talk about the business first. So I'm 61. I would like to work like until 67, 68, and then either hand over the business to my daughter or simply close it. So if she would like to work on it and continue on it, that's okay. If not, I'm not married with the company. And yeah, so I'm somehow not strongly emotionally connected to that. So I would close it. So my vision at the moment is maintain it, build it, let it grow a little bit, grow it without AI, with the human touch. So I will probably have no avatars to putting my courses in and speaking in tongues and stuff like that. It should be all the time the genuine Christina and Vaclav doing the stuff with the people. And I wouldn't call it vision. It's like a plan. And we can be that tomorrow, and I'm fully aware of it, So I'm not the person, I'm more the spontaneous kind of person, and not a person who's writing strict business plan and following up every month if he's reaching his financial targets. That's not my style. So that would be the personal stuff, yeah. And like global vision would be, yeah, I hope the wars will end in this world and we will have a little bit more peaceful future. It would be great for the job market as well. I hope we somehow get negotiations in Ukraine and the war will come to the end. I hope the same for the Middle East. Yeah, I'm suffering a lot when I watch politics, I can tell you. So I would hope for more peace in the world. That would be vision, but I cannot do that much for that. Only in my closest family and friends. That's all what you can do. I cannot influence big world politics.
I feel like that's already enough. And thank you for making a difference in general in people's life with your work. And I highly recommend your work. I know that you don't sell your things, but I would love to give you the selling part and say like you're incredible with your work. Thank you also for supporting me over the years, and thank you for making a difference.
Thank you very much for being your guest. It was a pleasure to be here.
Thank you for tuning in to today's episode of Creative Bites. It's been a pleasure sharing these stories and insights with you. Remember, creativity is all around us, ready to be discovered, nurtured, and celebrated. I'm Ivona Fruda, and until next time, keep creating, keep exploring, and keep inspiring. Thanks for listening, and goodbye for now.